So I made a mistake before. I was talking about us trading for a point guard like a Kemba Walker who could help us win right now. For some reason, I forgot that the centerpiece of our franchise is only 19 years old. So I don't really know why I was thinking to trade for a Kemba Walker and Eric Bledsoe. I guess I got kind of caught up in the moment because we're like overachieving a little bit this season and we're around the 8th seed. We need to have the long term and the young guys in mind with everything they do, so I don't know why I had that thought process at all. Speaking of that 19-year-old and Jason Tatum, he is our leading scorer, and you'll see that the guy under him is Aaron Gordon. At this point, we're pretty much embracing these two as the main guys of this team. We went through quite a few games. I think we went through about a month. 2 games under 500, still hovering around the 8th seed. Tatum went bananas against the Philadelphia 76ers. 31 points. It's going to be interesting to see as we fast forward a few seasons. Well, we're not going to fast forward, we're going to be playing those out, of course, but you know what I mean. Jason Tatum versus Ben Simmons, that could be an interesting matchup that we may be seeing down the road. Those two going at each other, Tatum more of a scorer, Simmons more of a playmaker. Now, as far as Joel Embiid is concerned, we'll probably be screwed going up against him unless our center situation improves. Speaking of which, our center situation is going to be discussed at length towards the middle part of this video, but I do need to update you on some of the things that have been going on with this team, of course. Tatum's top dude. That's to be expected. And he also had himself like a 20-point performance against the Milwaukee Bucks as well. An interesting thing is that his three-pointer, which was god-awful to start the season, it's still pretty not good, but he has improved it a bit. And I think if we go into future years, I mean, he's not far off on that three-pointer, and then of course he's awesome from mid-range and scoring inside, and he's got good size. So I mean, the scoring potential is just through the roof for Tatum, and we're already seeing it now. But also Aaron Gordon, 14 points, 6.5 rebounds. The 3 assists per game is what intrigues me the most, because that's what I want him to be. He was fantastic against the Pelicans, 13 rebounds, and I think the rebounding is the big thing, and he's really not that great of a rebounder right now, but we will be working on that. And the reason why I want his defensive rebounding to be strong is because that way it only helps out his playmaking, you know, because if a guy grabs a rebound, then he can immediately go out on the fast break, and I mean, you've seen me do this in the games that I've played when I get a rebound with Gordon. It really helps out the offense. So if he's just able to simply grab more rebounds, that creates more opportunities for him to play make for someone on a fast break, or you get down floor fast enough and you can go at a mismatch. These are all things that a playmaking big guy who grabs a lot of rebounds can do, and he is progressing, so that's good. Here's another one against the Chicago Bulls, but you see here like only 4 rebounds, so he still had 4 assists, but it would make sense that those 4 assists were more like within the half court, which it's good that you can still make plays out of like a pick and roll and all that, but if you can do it in the full court, that's what really unlocks Gordon's potential, as well as just how good this team can be. But the 24 points are nice, and it's intriguing because he's not really a shooter in any way right now. Like, if you leave him wide open from mid-range, it might go in. But to predominantly be an inside scorer, putting up, you know, having some 20-point plus games, that's a good sign. And you'll see here, I'm pretty much embracing the young guys. Elfrid Payton as the third option. I just recently made that adjustment from, like, Evan Fournier. And Payton, I mean, he's pretty good. Like, 12 and 7.5, 5 rebounds, just can't shoot threes at this point. Evan Fournier's act has turned around, by the way. But now I do want to talk about Payton some more. We're going to have to re-sign him after this season, and he is nowhere close to being a finished product. He still has to improve on his drawing fouls and shooting three-pointers, of course. And who knows if he'll ever actually get there, but he's only 23, and there's no way we're going to find a better option right now. So we might as well just embrace the dude for the long haul. And I was actually talking about his contract. We're going to have to re-sign him to, I think, probably like $10 to $12 million. We also are going to have to re-sign Aaron Gordon, and we might have to break the bank a bit on him. But here's the thing, we don't actually have all the cap space in the world right now, which means we're going to have to cut some salary. And I think Vucevic is going to be the guy on the way out, because I don't know how much better he's really making us, because he's not a strong defensive player. He's only averaging like 10 points a game at this point because he's not one of our top 3 offensive options, and I just don't see him on the long term for this team. So a few things are going to have to happen here. Number 1 is that Bismack Biyombo becomes the starter. I'm already got him in the training thing for like standing layups, finishing close, offensive rebounding. He's never going to be a shooter. That doesn't mean he still can't be a productive offensive player. But if he's going to be our center, we could have some spacing issues because Aaron Gordon is not a shooter or a floor spacer yet. Now, that means that we could suffer some more losses this season, but honestly, who gives a crap? We're not trying to win right now anyway. I think we have been doing a little better than I would expect this season. But yeah, Gordon, the shooting has to become more of an emphasis if Vucevic is not on the roster, but that's okay. We kind of expected Vucevic to be gone anyway. Now, who would we trade him for? I would want to trade him to a team that's strong defensively and really needs some help offensively. One team would be the Chicago Bulls. They are one of the, top 10 defensive teams in the league. 2K has the defensive rating thing backwards, but I think you know what I mean by that one. But offensively, they suck. They're actually worse than us. They're the second worst offensive team in the league. So, defensively, they could maintain themselves maybe with Vucevic, but then he can make them better on offense. And you know what's even better? The Bulls are in the trade rumors. They're looking to trade Michael Carter-Williams, but they're also looking to move Rajon Rondo as well. And, I mean, I don't love the idea of getting either one of these guys, but they're both cheap. Like, Rondo's making $4 million a season. MCW is making only 2.8. So, the Bulls would be willing to trade either one of these guys. They have all the cap space in the world if you look at the bottom, and hopefully we can just help them out offensively. So, I mean, I think this kind of works. It seems to hopefully help them out, and it rids us of some salary. I think a move like this would make sense.